Hello, and welcome to Day 2 Cisco Live here in Asia Pacific, Japan, and China. Namaste.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao.
Sawadee-kap.
Annyeonghaseyo.
Salamat pagi.
I'm Ray Kloss.
And I'm Seema Hine, and I hope you're all super excited for Day 2. So what did you think of the keynote, Ray?
I'm inspired. Seema, I just find it so inspiring to focus on this inclusive future for all. And I'm so inspired by how all the technology innovations actually support that and enable that. And so there's so much to see today. What did you love, Seema?
Oh, I just loved all the announcements about the WebEx and the features. Over 400 features. How amazing is that? So I can't even wait to get my hands on all of that. So I just want to thank everyone, firstly, for being on the Innovation Channel. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, we're offering translations in 7 languages. And it was really great to see yesterday all of our friends in Japan posting on social media telling us how much they loved it. And also, just a reminder, if you want the full immersive experience, make sure you upgrade to a full access pass. And you can do that by going to ciscolive.com/2021. So Ray, I'm going to ask you this question. What was the favorite part of your day yesterday?
Well, Seema, I loved it when Chuck put it to us, that great challenge. He said, the world is ours to shape. And then following up deeper into that keynote yesterday, I loved when Jonathan Davidson asked all of us the question, all of us on this broadcast, how do we connect the next 1 billion people to the digital experiences that are available to us on our world, on our planet? That was super exciting for me. What did you love?
Well, yeah, you're right. I think that was the most announcements I've heard at a Cisco Live. But the thing that I really, really loved was the keynote, the guest speakers. I loved Mike Walsh. And really that concept of the mind grenades, I'm definitely going to be using that one. And weren't the performances phenomenal? I mean, I was just blown away at how Pentatonics were able to harmonize virtually over our technology. Real game changer. So we've got some other great guest speakers today and artists, so make sure you stay tuned, but you will have to switch over to the Leadership Channel. And I also want to make sure that you all know that if you want to join the conversation on social media, please do that at #CiscoLive, and also make sure you tag us with @CiscoLive APJC. Now, Ray, what have we got in store for the rest of today?
Oh, thanks, Seema. Hey, everyone out there, we've got another packed day today. I hope you're ready. And hey, to the great production team, let's run that agenda. So coming up next, we're going to hear a deeper dive on WebEx and all the enhancements in WebEx, which we've been hearing about in the keynotes. We're going to go deep on that cloud experience. So we had a fabulous demo from Jackie Guccialeri in the opening keynote today around how Cisco is running on CX Cloud. And we're going to see all that in the agenda coming up. Actually, if we can, let's, to the production team, can we roll the second agenda item? And so this is going to show us the second part of the day. We're going to look at the future of wireless and making those decisions between Wi-Fi 6 and 5G, security, some great sessions and content for small business. And then between innovation and customer value, there's a bridge. That session's all about our partners. Really encouraging you to watch that one. Our partners do amazing things to help you get real advantage and innovation out of all that we do. So, hey, I hope you enjoy that. The agenda coming up, there's some great sessions. There's live demonstrations in all of that. And to me, I really want to call out, if you see a demo you really love, make sure you get down to the world of solutions. If this is your first time on our broadcast, I really encourage you to be on ciscolive.com/2021. Let me do that again for you. ciscolive.com/2021. That is the URL for where you get the full experience. And in there, there's a place, you can see it, there's a place as you scroll down called the World of Solutions. That's our digital exhibition. I've never seen us do anything like this before. 34 partners are in there prepared to show you everything that they've got solution-wise. And then we have all of our booths. There are over 130 demos in there. And our engineers are standing by, ready to go live in your time zone to interact with you and answer your questions. So Seema, do you want to take us through the next section?
Definitely. Well, firstly, I really hope and I really want our audience to stay engaged and have fun with us today. So again, I just want to remind you about the social media, because not only do we love to see your posts, but you do get to also have a lot of, it's entertaining, but you also got a lot of prizes, and there's a lot of great competitions out there to be had as well. So make sure you join the conversation with hashtag Cisco Live, and also tag us with @Cisco Live APJC. And yesterday, I have to say, I saw a lot of great posts coming through about the entertainment. I saw one today from someone who said that they loved the keynote. So really keep that coming, keep that going. And Ray and I are definitely trying to answer them as much as possible. And you can also follow us if you want. So I'm @Seema Hine, and we've got Ray, who's @Ray_Kloss. We love making new friends from all over the world. Also, we've got the social media hub, a lot of great activity happening down there, a lot of great competitions. So check out the photo booth, have a little bit of fun with that. We certainly did yesterday. And also there's the leaderboard if you're into a bit of a competitive spirit and want to get yourself up there at the top, go and check that out. And then of course we've got the trivia. That's also a bit of fun for you to test your knowledge on Cisco Live, even some of the technology tracks. So that's something that you should just get your hands on. The other thing I just want to mention is the live Q&A, which is really important. So if you're watching a session and you have a burning question, please make sure that you type in your question in the live Q&A panel. We've got our tech specialists available for you to answer some of those tough questions that you might have. And of course, to join the conversation, we have the WebEx space, great place to network with your peers. So you can find that in the session catalogue. Now let's get ready for our next session on the future of work. But before that, let's throw to a video. Thank you.
Stay tuned for the blockbuster hit of Cisco Live. Coming soon. Accelerating the future of work.
Look, the priorities for today are so clear for all of us. We're all working in conditions that are so new for us. And the future of work is hybrid. You know, all of the statistics, all of the data that we see everywhere is about how much people are going to work from home, work from anywhere, as well as work from the office. And what's going to be critical for us is how do we keep everybody in the conversation? And even more critically, how do we make decisions in this remote working environment? Well, that's what our next session is going to be about. If you've been watching Cisco Live yesterday and the keynote this morning, we've touched in so many ways on how collaboration is key. And we've also touched briefly on many of the new features and capabilities of WebEx. I love this new session. We're going to hear in detail around a lot of the new collaboration capabilities that make it possible for you to keep your office and your people all connected. Now remember, if there's something you really love, you can go to the WOS, the World of Solutions, and see the demos live on Cisco.com, on the Cisco Showcase. And the other thing is, if you're on CiscoLive.com/2021, there's live Q&A. Our engineers are standing by to answer your questions. So as you watch the session, you can ask your questions. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this next session. Super exciting new technology. Let's watch.
Good morning and welcome everyone. I'm so happy you could join us. I feel so incredibly fortunate to not only be hosting a discussion around the future of work, but to be at the forefront of helping create it. Now, those of you who watched Jeetu's keynote earlier heard him say loud and clear, the future of work is hybrid. And this includes working from home, the office, or anywhere. To continue this focus on the future of work, Scott and I will now double click on the things we know you are all concerned about. The impact of how and where we work, both on your employees and on your customers. When I think back to a year ago, we all experienced the most disruptive work event of our lifetimes. I know we've all felt the impacts on our lives, both personally and professionally. And many of us have experienced similar challenges as we transition to working remotely. For example, finding a quiet spot in the house to call our office, sharing bandwidth with our kids who are attending school or playing video games, and some of us were even turned into a cat during a meeting. Now, personally, I haven't been on a plane for over a year, and we've hired hundreds of new employees this past year that I haven't met in person. Yet, with all the disruptions, our teams have been phenomenally productive, delivering innovations at a pace that I could have never imagined possible. At our WebEx One event in December, we shared our vision to create experiences that are 10x better than in-person interactions. And we are already putting that vision into action. Let's take a look. If you haven't tried the all-new WebEx, you will be blown away. So here we are again, 12 months later, on the cusp of yet another significant work event of our lives. Just look at these estimates. 77% of employees will embrace a flexible work style. 98% of all meetings will now include remote participants. The future of work is hybrid. In this new hybrid world, it all comes down to experiences. Experiences for your employees and for your customers. So as we think about employee experiences, here are a few things to consider as you plan a move to hybrid work. For employees in the office, how do I find a space to work? How do I know that that space is safe? And most importantly, how do I stay connected to colleagues who are still at home? For employees at home, concerns might be FOMO. Am I going to be left out? Will I still be seen and heard in meetings? Can I still make the same impact? Ensuring an engaging and inclusive experience for all employees is essential. Empowering inclusive collaboration is what we do here at Cisco. So today, I'm excited to show you the latest innovations from WebEx and how we are making this real. Now, meetings are far more productive when you know everyone is engaged. If I see that everyone in the meeting understands my message, I can keep going. But if I'm met with puzzled faces, I need to pivot to ensure everyone is on the same page and everyone feels included. Now, this isn't always easy to do with your audience when it includes remote participants. But we've solved for that to ensure everyone always has an equal voice and feels included in the conversation. We are rolling out inclusive features like gesture recognition and real-time translations. These features allow users to easily express themselves and to participate in the language of their choice, breaking down common collaboration barriers and leading to a better experience for everyone. Now, at a time when video fatigue is a real problem, WebEx allows you to decide what view is most important and engaging with our custom layouts feature. The power is now in your hands to pick the best layout for your content and to highlight the most important panelists and then broadcast that to everyone. Meeting participants have more control of their experience too. They have the ability to move images around so that they can see what they need to during a meeting. And this is how we are taking content sharing to the next level. Now, we've all watched the weather on TV, where the weathercaster's image is superimposed over the weather map. That is exactly how immersive share works. You can now combine your video with the content you're sharing, allowing you to become a part of the story you're telling. I host a monthly all-hands meeting with over 5,000 people. Now, at our last meeting, I used Slido to ask how people were feeling that day. And in about 30 seconds, I had 2,000 responses. Real-time participation at that scale just blows my mind. We are so committed to creating a more engaging meetings experience that we recently announced our intent to acquire Slido to enable you to better connect with your audiences. And we are not stopping there. You will soon be able to reach an audience of up to 100,000 people with our new broadcast feature available this spring. In this new environment, we are all working different hours, and the way we engage with our coworkers has changed. We lack the ability to separate work and personal time like we used to, and it's affecting our mental health and private lives. Fortunately, we already have real-time data showing us trends that can enable us to be smarter and make more informed decisions on how we spend our time. This will allow us to maintain productivity while also managing self-care and personal responsibilities. That is why I'm so excited to announce a new capability, People Insights from WebEx. People Insights will help you manage your most precious resource, time. People Insights provides detailed analytics and recommendations to help you do things like be more effective in meetings, manage your work-life balance, build the right connections, and even carve out focused time. Being able to better manage your time benefits you, your team, and your organization. And the best part? The data is not for your boss or for your employer. It's yours and yours alone. WebEx People Insights are private and built for your eyes only. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had my ringer off. Hey, Scott. No, not yet. You're up in 5 minutes. Sorry about that. That was Scott calling me on my WebEx app, which is also my business phone. Now, just like Scott, employees, partners, and customers, they need to reach you in real time, anywhere and at any time. And thanks to the cloud, calling is undergoing a massive transformation as it becomes more embedded in our everyday workflows. The WebEx app provides a consistent and intuitive calling experience, allowing users to move seamlessly between calling, meetings, messaging, and sharing to optimize team productivity. So let me show you how we've reimagined calling to fit your future of work.
Get work done at any time, from anywhere, on any device. Call, message, and meet in WebEx. WebEx gives you complete phone capabilities with a business phone number that rings on any device, integrated with powerful video calling, and ensure every call is answered with intelligent routing. With simple access to voicemail, smoothly elevate your voice call to a meeting with a click of a button. And keep the team on track with robust messaging built in. Work moves no matter what time zone you're in. Before, during, or after the meeting. With WebEx, you already know it's secure, and it works with the apps you already use. Get everything done in one place, wherever you are.
We are the only vendor with an end-to-end enterprise-grade calling experience that covers your soft phone, your network, and your devices. You don't need to buy software from one vendor, voice network from another, and devices from yet another, just to get a dial tone. Cisco provides all of this. Now, I've just talked about how we are making working from home 10x better than in-person interactions. Now let's talk about the future of work from the office. Cisco is the only company that offers a unique combination of hardware and software you need to make the new work from office experience 10x safer for your employees. So to tell you more about what we are doing to enable a safe return to the office, please welcome Scott Harrell, SVP GM of Cisco's Intent-Based Networking Group. Now you're up, Scott.
Thanks, Jonathan. I think the part you were talking about, the return to office, I know we're all waiting for this to happen and we're all excited, but we got to make it safe for everybody to come back. We got to make them comfortable to come back. And the network can play a big role in this. We can actually make it easy to count people as they transition into the office and understand whether or not the space is safe and the social density is actually what it needs to be. We can also track proximity. We can track people in case they do get infected about who they were in proximity with. And then we can trigger actions. If there is an incident, we can bring in the cleaning crew. We can actually send messages to people asking them not to go into a certain space in the building. All those things are possible to help enable a safe return to work. But you also talked about this hybrid experience that for a long time to come, probably, we're going to have people working at home. We're not going to necessarily all want to gather into a single conference room. And so we're going to have people working from the desk. And all of that is going to be video-based because that's the new norm. That's the new reality. Nobody's going back to old audio-style calls. And to support that high-definition experience, you also need to invest in new technology, things like Wi-Fi 6. And that new technology will enable the best application experience, the best collaboration experience, but it also gives you this ability to do some of these outcomes around safe return to work. And so rather than kind of keep talking about it, I think it's important to hear from Cisco and about how we as Cisco are actually using this technology to enable our workforce to return safely to work and have the best experience. So can we roll the video?
Let's look at the technology Cisco is planning to deploy in some offices and is available for your offices. We will do this by following Arjun, who is returning to his office 2 days a week. As he enters the building, he passes under a Meraki camera that captures foot traffic in and out of the building. Data from the camera is sent to Cisco DNA Spaces, which shows building capacity by the number of entries and exits. Workplace resources can monitor the number of people allowed to enter the building based on preset thresholds. As Arjun settles into a workspace, the physical location of his devices are periodically tracked by Wi-Fi access points. Cisco DNA Spaces uses the data aggregated from cameras and access points to create rich insights for improving safety and operational efficiency. For example, if too many people gather in a specific area for extended periods of time, workplace resources can dispatch the cleaning team or reconfigure the space. Notifications can be sent via SMS, email, or WebEx using configurable DNA Spaces alerts. Arjun often meets in shared conference rooms with Cisco WebEx room kits. These kits can actively monitor the number of people and their location in the room to ensure safe, socially distanced meetings. Clearly, we can monitor and help provide a safe workplace, but what people wear is up to them.
Now, what's incredible about this is beyond the just excitement I have personally to try to get back in the office. Javed talked about getting on a plane. Like, I'm ready to commute again. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but I'm ready to commute again. It means I can be back and seeing my peers and being on a whiteboard and actually collaborating with all my friends back in the office. And the good news is all that technology you just saw, it's all ready now. It's shipping now. You can use DNA Spaces today to make that workspace safer. You can use it in combination with the WebEx room kits to track density in those offices. You can use Meraki cameras and have those interconnect into DNA Spaces today. And the Wi-Fi 6 revolution, it's underway. We have the vast majority of our customers now deploying this and installing this in preparation for the return of the workforce. But more is coming. We're going to make that workplace smarter by bringing in more smarts from an IoT point of view, but also bringing in new capabilities that are optimized for this hybrid work style. And if you think about the hybrid work style, you're not going to have as many dedicated desks. You're going to come into the office and you're going to want to find a place to sit and place to work. For many of us, that's already the reality. And so we're optimizing our solutions for that with things like the WebEx Desk Hub. It's a gorgeous piece of technology. If you look at it, it just looks cool. And you can bring your phone in and you can tap in and that thing self-programs to be ready for you and be personalized for you. It'll have all your meetings on it. It'll have the ability for you to interconnect your laptop and even charge your phone. It's awesome. But you can further personalize that experience by having things like the Cisco 730 headset, which makes a great audio connection for those meetings, and the WebEx Desk camera, which will have the best performance from a video point of view. This is the future of how the desks are going to be set up in the office, and it's here soon, and you can use this to transform your space. So very exciting technology. The other piece, though, is once you've invested in this environment, this next generation workspace environment, you can also start to transform it in other ways. One of the most kind of futuristic ones that we see out there is around smart buildings. I don't know about you, but like at home now, everything in my house is wired up. My lights can be controlled by an app. I can walk into a room and talk to the systems, and they'll speak back to me. You know, it's amazing how smart our homes have gotten. Our buildings, our offices ought to be just as smart. And unfortunately, for most of us, that's just not the reality today. I want that same type of experience when I walk into a conference room, when I walk into an office, that it automatically is personalized for me, that I have a great end user experience in that office. But I also want it to be cost effective, and I want it to be a sustainable environment with a low carbon footprint. The technology we're bringing around smart buildings enables that, in addition to enabling it to be a safe place to work. And a great example of this is a recent customer we had, Pine Bridge Investments. They combined IT and OT into our platform. And by doing that, they were able to reduce their power costs by 2/3. They actually reduced their construction costs by 1/2. And if you look at some of the enabling technologies, things like 90-watt PoE, like really transform the power delivery in those buildings. For instance, you can get up to 3 lights per port now for those PoE ports. Very efficient, very cost effective. But we don't just do the connectivity and the power, and we also make it secure. All these devices have OSs. All these devices need to be protected. We bring integrated security with this solution so that we can protect those IoT devices just like we can protect your IT devices. Real powerful stuff. And with that, I want to hand it back to Javed. Javed, take it back.
Thanks, Scott. It's amazing to see all the ways we are enabling safe and inclusive collaboration, from workspace management to smart buildings and infrastructures. Now, we are working to power an inclusive future for work for everyone. That is why I'm pleased to announce new cloud pricing for those beautiful WebEx desk devices that Scott just showed you. So when you sign an enterprise agreement, you get discounted pricing for our entire device lineup. Just look at these estimated street prices. We are making collaboration affordable for everyone, not just your C-suite. I want to shift from talking about your employee experiences to your customer experiences. In this new hybrid world, how do you make a customer interaction feel personal when it's not? So I recently ordered something online, and when the item never arrived, I contacted the vendor via chat to resolve this issue. Within 30 seconds, I was connected to a live agent who knew about the order. They knew it had been lost, and they had already shipped a replacement item for me. I even received a text message confirming all the details. It was a seamless and satisfying interaction, the kind we should all be having when we contact support. This is the customer experience we are building at WebEx. We are creating a powerful customer experience as a service offering by combining the WebEx Contact Center with omni-channel and customizable capabilities from IMI Mobile. This will allow your customers to interact with you on a channel of their choice, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and allow you to customize your workflows for customer interactions. The result is a single connected customer journey on a single technology platform.
Today, your customers expect to reach your business as easily as they reach friends and family. And our increasingly digital, always-on world is transforming the way companies connect to customers. To provide a connected customer journey, businesses need visibility into all customer interactions across the business. Here's where IMI Mobile helps. IMI Mobile allows businesses to take any trigger from any business system or channel and deliver personalized, context-aware communication to the customer in real time. IMI's low-code, no-code communications platform makes it fast and easy for businesses to build and orchestrate customer journeys together with the all-new WebEx Contact Center. IMI Mobile technology will help Cisco provide businesses customer experience solutions that delight.
Speaking of powerful WebEx experiences, I could not have imagined that our technology would play even a small part in the landing of NASA Perseverance on Mars, or be used by our government to conduct business remotely. That is why I am pleased to announce WebEx for Government, a collaboration experience that is on par with commercial WebEx solutions. And we are taking it one step further. We've initiated the process of getting IL5 certified, one of the highest levels of government certification for the Department of Defense. WebEx integrates seamlessly with your existing workflows too. Cisco's approach to integration is different. Not only have we integrated many of these popular cloud applications into WebEx, we integrate directly into those apps too, so you can get work done without leaving your workflow. And we continue to add new industry-leading applications and partner integration. So stay tuned. We have many more exciting additions coming soon. A year ago, none of us could have predicted what our future of work was going to look like. A year later, there are still a fair number of uncertainties about what the future will be. But there are a few things we know for sure. The future of work is hybrid, and the quality of the experience you provide to both your employees and your customers is more important than ever. And with so many more variables about where we connect and communicate from, how we do those things becomes even more critical. You're seeing Cisco innovate with velocity like no other company as we reimagine this new hybrid workplace. Cisco will empower you and your organizations to succeed in these unprecedented times. So if you haven't experienced the all-new WebEx, give it a try. You will be blown away. Now, what I'm most thrilled about is that we have the leadership, the teams, the innovation, and the expertise to power these inclusive experiences now and into the future. These are exciting times, and both Scott and I want to thank you for being on this journey with us. And also be sure to attend our technical breakout sessions for a deeper dive into the future of work and to see some of these incredible demos and solutions in action. Thank you, and have a great day.
I love how easy WebEx calling works for me. I love it, how it comes to me on all my devices. So if you enjoyed that session, I so encourage you to get down to the world of solutions and look at some of the demos. It's so much fun. Hey, big call out, watching an APJC. Did you know that we have 7 languages available for you for closed captioning? And I want to do a call out to Ikuta-san in Japan. Hopefully you hear me saying that. Konnichiwa, Ikuta-san, arigatou gozaimasu, for all of your kind tweets about how well that translation is working. So we have 7 languages for you. If you want those languages, so we've got simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, Thai, and I'm missing one, but if you go in there, you'll see it. So again, you have to be on ciscolive.com/2021. Next, let's watch a great customer story about something happening right here in our region in Auckland, in the Auckland Harbor. Enjoy this customer story.
The America's Cup is going to be the biggest sporting event in New Zealand in the sport calendar for the next year. The Spark 5G Race Zone is a facility which allows people to touch, feel, and experience racing as well as embracing the technology that feeds it. This facility will demonstrate some of our really cutting-edge technology.
So what Cisco Meraki does for us here in the race zone is it provides all the wired connectivity, wireless connectivity, provides security cameras, and it provides all the security out to the internet as well. Cisco Meraki enabled us to get set up in an extremely short time frame. We can pre-configure everything within the dashboard remotely. When we get to site, we unbox the equipment, we connect it to the internet. That equipment boots up, downloads the latest firmware, and it is online within minutes. Having Cisco Meraki cloud managed means that we've got support people that are remote and they have access to that dashboard. It's in one place, we don't have multiple tools we have to access, it's that single dashboard, single pane of glass. With Cisco Meraki, we plug it in, that equipment is up and running within minutes. The beauty of Cisco Meraki and their cameras is that it's now built into the whole network. We can get information around movement of people within the race zone. We can get alerts if we exceed a particular number of people within a particular area, which is useful with COVID-19 and tracking numbers and that social distancing.
We're now deploying Cisco Meraki at scale to the entire race village. This will be used by enterprises, customers, spectators, who will all get to enjoy some of the great features Cisco Meraki has to offer.
We're going to be bringing new speeds. We're going to be bringing Wi-Fi 6 to the event. We're going to be connecting thousands of users seamlessly. We're going to get to show what we can do as Spark with our partner Cisco and really delivering a world-class event down here.
All right, here we go. It's time for a dance party. That's right, a little dance break, next 2 minutes, sponsored by Amazon Web Services. Let's go, Cisco Live 2021. DJ Nick partying with you. Get up, have some fun. Let's do it. I want you to think, what is your go-to dance move? That's what I want you to do right now. Whatever your go-to dance move is, just think to yourself, you're by yourself right now, you're partying with all your friends around the globe. Cisco Live 2021. Pretty cool experience. We got 1 more minute. Let's go. Party it up. Come on. Bring it down. This is the dance break within the dance break right here. All right, we're going to bring it back up here. Come on, let's go. Less than a minute to go. Less than a minute to go. Let's go. Come on. Feeling it. Once again, thank you so much to AWS for sponsoring this amazing dance break. Hope you all had some fun. Enjoy Cisco Live 2021. I'm DJ Nick. I'm out. Peace.
Wasn't that a fun brain break? Thank you, AWS. I hope you're all having a bit of a party wherever you are. So now, if you're just joining us for the very first time, I just want to remind you to go down to the world of solutions. So there is a huge technology playground. There are going to be 36 live demos, a lot of partner stands available to you. Also these lightning sessions, so don't miss out while you've got that chance. Also the anytime sessions are really important. Over 355 in the library. You can watch them at any time and you can go to the session catalogue to be able to access those as well. Just a reminder, the live Q&A for the next session, if you've got any questions, make sure you put them into the live Q&A panel. But now it's time to move on to the next session. Now, moving to the cloud is inevitable for most organisations today, and modernising your infrastructure will really help you to innovate and stay competitive. And so that's what this next session is really about. It's all about the way that you can provide that single view of your environment, which is called CX Cloud. And to help you, we want you to get your own VIP backstage pass so you can turn it up with Cisco CX. So let's hear from Stephanie, who's going to take it away and tell us how.
So don't miss out. Grab your CX Backstage Pass now. Scan the QR code on your screen to access exclusive resources so you can continue to turn it up with Cisco CX. So hey, Tamaya, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good, Stephanie, and super excited to be here.
So the CX theme, as you know, is Turn It Up Together with CX, and we want to hear from you. We want to learn how you first turned it up. So I want to ask you, what was your first concert? Do you remember?
Yes, it was Pink Floyd, and it was just an amazing, mind-blowing experience. They had these laser lights all over the place, and just being there was a moment in time. I can never forget that.
Wow, Pink Floyd, that sounds like such an amazing, incredible experience. Now we're going to hear how we're turning it up with multi-cloud innovation and digital agility. Let's turn it over to Tamaya right now.
All of us want to provide a seamless experience for our customers. But in order to get there, we must decode and eliminate complex challenges. You need a trusted advisor, a business partner, to open up and capture all possibilities. Today, Alvio Barrios and I will share insights and best practices to help you be successful. Your move to the cloud is inevitable. It's happening now. It's happening today. And we all know it is necessary, especially to stay competitive, continuously innovate, and pivot quickly. More importantly, moving to the cloud will help your organizations modernize their infrastructure to keep up with the pace of the business. Today, you can choose from the best and most flexible platforms that provide cost savings and resiliency. But no single cloud provider may have the full range of capabilities that are necessary for implementing a particular application. Another cloud provider might have significantly better functionality for components of that application. For example, a bulk of your applications might be built on AWS, Google, Azure, but you could use Boomi or another integration platform. A multi-cloud approach keeps these options open for you. And Cisco can help you maximize your opportunities in this multi-cloud environment faster and with less risk to achieve a seamless digital experience. All the while with the right architecture, management software, and secure automation. Well, we all know that moving to the cloud does not guarantee success. 95% of cloud projects do not succeed. Silos in infrastructure leads to several implementation problems. And without optimal tools, your cloud infrastructure becomes fragmented, giving you minimal visibility and interconnectivity. Your sensitive data now sits in many places, both within your company's walls and outside. Your data security, data privacy, and compliance controls need to go wherever your data goes. And for some of you, an in-house IT approach is both feasible and preferable. But your organizations have found that their teams do not possess the expertise, skill sets, and resources necessary to support your operations. This is where Cisco CX and our large ecosystem partners can help you. By accessing the power of cloud with innovation and expertise, our people have the skills and trainings. We've successfully helped thousands of customers innovate with digital agility. We have the technology and solutions to ensure optimal performance. We can help you create a seamless customer experience by establishing an agile, future-proof model with an accelerated cloud-ready architecture, all the while putting you in control with built-in security and automation, and at the same time providing you with deeper visibility and optimization with insights and actions. Let's talk about defining a flexible cloud-ready architecture. First, let's take a look at the fact that end users today are not tied to their desks. Network connections are made from various locations and devices. And then you have lines of businesses purchasing public clouds, possibly in silos, leading to more fragmentation. And sometimes there is no visibility or control across your environment. A recent survey of 1,400 IT professionals found that actual cloud services for their company was 63 times higher than their initial view. And this fragmented approach means that it is impossible for you to take full advantage of multi-cloud capabilities. And because of this, your cloud architecture cannot be accidental. You need a solid, holistic multi-cloud strategy, one that includes your cloud organization's cloud vision, an assessment of your cloud maturity, security, zero trust, and SOC requirements. Most success can be achieved through a phased approach to this environment. And Cisco experts can help you with your cloud journey. Our experts can analyze your current readiness against your strategic business goals and align your roadmap to cloud selection of public, private, and hybrid clouds, enabling flexibility, agility, and growth by accelerating your overall architecture. A holistic approach addresses 5 areas to deliver business outcomes for you. We begin by enabling a secure, comprehensive, and collaborative experience to ensure business continuity through change, all the while providing visibility from applications to infrastructure, coupled with actionable insights powered by AI. We secure your cloud environment with a unified, multi-layered, zero-trust solution, helping you operate in a world where IT has no silos. And to enable intelligent visualization, optimization, and orchestration with a focus on simplifying connectivity. Cisco experts are available to you at every step of your multi-cloud journey to ensure you have every opportunity and can achieve success. The 5 areas that I mentioned have a singular purpose: provide all the benefits that your business requires at speed. And in true partnership with Cisco, one Australian bank and financial service provider, Westpac Banking, has realized that promise. Let's hear it from them directly.
Westpac's a 200-year-old bank, oldest bank in Australia.
The strategic pillars for Westpac are to fix, to simplify, and to perform. We are on a transformational journey to modernize the bank. We have to succeed.
When we first got the team together to work out how we were going to deploy 5,000 physical devices across 944 sites, there were moments of disbelief, I'd say, that we could do it. Partnering with Cisco and the CX team made a huge difference from the onset.
The network transformation included working with Cisco, looking at how we can automate our processes, because the task in front of us was, 900 plus branches.
Prior to the SD-WAN rollout, to connect to cloud services, an employee based in Victoria used to hairpin up to Sydney, out to the cloud provider, and then back down. What we've done is architected the solution so that if you're in Victoria, you break out to the local cloud provider in Melbourne.
We started with a pilot, and then we started rolling out about 4 to 5 sites per night. And then at the peak, we were doing 14 sites a night.
Automation was critical to the deployments. There's no way we could have hit the cadence that we did without implementing that DevOps-style automation. We've seen huge improvements in speed and performance of applications across the technology.
Our application performance in the branches went up by 28%. That's huge.
Since we've rolled out SD-WAN, we've hit months where we've had 944 branches with 100% uptime. This is something we've never had before. We're now delivering 10 times the bandwidth at 50% of the cost. Being able to rely on the business critical services team has really given us confidence to take on more than we otherwise would have. There now aren't limits to what we could deploy in the branches. Applications are no longer bound by the speed of the network, so this opens up the door for many options in the future. This is definitely an example of genuine transformation.
Wow, this really exemplifies the transformation that we can achieve together. Now, before I pass it off to Alvio Barrios, Cisco CX SVP of Americas, Alvio, I have a question for you. So what was your first concert experience?
I'm sort of embarrassed, Tamaya, after Pink Floyd, but mine was Sade. So smooth operator, all about romance. I went out with my girlfriend back then, that now is my wife. So I think it turned out to be a really good concert.
Wow, that's amazing. But at the same time, you can't beat Pink Floyd.
No, you can't. We can't. I don't even know how to bring Sade into Cisco Live. It's not Cisco Love, but we'll go with smooth multi-cloud operation. How about that?
That's awesome. There you go. Over to you,
Right,
Alvio.
thank you. Hello, Cisco Live. I am Alvio Barrios and I lead Cisco Customer Experience. As you heard from the Westpac video, a very important part of their journey is centered around security and automation, as is typical for these multi-cloud and hybrid cloud journeys. So keeping an external focus on the impact of secure automation, this study was conducted by APJC with enterprises that had an average of 15 data centers, more than 100 sites or locations, and 200 applications plus deployed in their environment. And those enterprises achieved 58% faster time to create segmentation for their network users, 69 to 72% faster deployment of network infrastructure, 34% more efficient IT infrastructure teams, which in turn increased focus on growth and innovation, which is what you want to do. And finally, on the business benefits, $110 million per year per organization of higher revenue with improved performance. So that was the impact of secure automation in this study that was done by APJC. So let's talk about the transformation in action with Cisco Customer Experience, Cisco CX, as we like to call it. This is an example of an accelerated multi-cloud transformation of a large US retailer from the West Coast. This customer wanted to achieve higher agility, more efficiencies, and change the experience of their employees and their customers in a secure way. Our journey together started with a problem statement. What is it that we're trying to solve? They had an aging infrastructure, they lack agility, they lack security policies, they had limited control or predictability of their CapEx and OpEx budgets, and they had limited cloud skills to move to a different environment. So together we defined strategic objectives with a cloud-first approach, architecture and operational simplicity through automation, with full stack observability, optimizing connectivity and security, allowing them to have a predictable CapEx and OpEx budget. Our cloud journey assessment and cloud operating model assessment advisory services were used from Cisco CX to help in this stage. The next step was design, selection, and architecture. So we designed a multi-cloud architecture with optimized connectivity and security to infrastructure as a service workloads, with cloud hubs at colos in order to improve user-to-app experience. We use a hybrid approach, leveraging an SD-WAN fabric to connect to public cloud. Initially, it was Azure and later Google. And we designed an agile software-defined infrastructure close to the edge, again, to maintain that level of experience, with an end-to-end security model for cloud operations across infrastructure as a service, platform as a service providers through ACI Anywhere, with collaboration apps being delivered 100% from the cloud. The next step was management, automation, and orchestration, day 2 operations. The customer needed a single pane of glass for visibility and policy enforcement on a hybrid environment, and a common platform for configuration and troubleshooting as well. This was achieved by designing and implementing an intent common policy controller through our ACI Anywhere solution for configuration management and policy management across on-prem and cloud. We enhance the security posture with microservices. We secure user on ramp with to cloud by using VPN, multi-factor authentication, and web security gateways, and implemented automation across infrastructure, testing, and migration of workloads. On the migration side, in order to further reduce the operating cost and complexity and leverage the cloud scale, we focus on analyzing the application dependencies for migration. Migrating collab applications to the cloud actually led to 40% in savings in efficiency. And then automating of the migration of workloads to the cloud while achieving a flexible application management and support model. Ultimately, we use Cisco CX advanced services such as multi-cloud network connectivity and cloud security solutions with deployment and integration to help customers connect, secure, and automate to accelerate their cloud journey. The last step was on cloud operations and optimization, the day 2 operations. And in order to achieve the multi-cloud transformation and ongoing optimization, the customer opted for our Cisco CX business critical services. with access to cloud experts, insights and analytics leveraging telemetry, providing automation throughout the entire life cycle. Critical to the successful transformation was to have a full stack observability, an optimized experience via app dynamics, or AppD as we like to call it. Working in a cloud world requires a completely different operating model, as you know. People skills are different, processes and governance they demand are different, and new tools are required for visibility and workload distribution. According to IDC, by 2023, 55% of enterprises will replace their current operational model with cloud-centric models that facilitate organizational collaboration, resulting in better business outcomes. Let's take a look at how Cisco approaches cloud operations. Many IT teams like you are now experiencing more complexity across their IT infrastructure caused by urgent innovation as business needs change and technology sprawl across on-prem and cloud architectures. This fact creates the need for a full stack observability, the ability to monitor the full IT state from traditional legacy IT systems to new hybrid cloud environments, from customer-facing applications down to core network and infrastructure. But on its own, full stack observability simply isn't enough to tackle the layers of complexity. Aligning full stack observability with business performance has become critical in order to contextualize IT performance insights with real-time business context. Cisco CX professional services, application advisory, application performance and workload optimization, and integration services provide true cross-domain capability of visibility and monitoring of our customers by bringing our solutions with the full stack observability provided by applications like App Dynamics, ThousandEyes, and Intersight. It's vital to proactively identify and fix performance issues before they adversely affect customer and the business. That is connecting IT performance to business outcome. Ultimately, it comes down to execution. A skillful cloud operation is required to bridge and accelerate the multi-cloud transformation. Let's start with people-centric strategies. Fully automating low complexity work reduces human error and faster completion in order to free engineers to do big brain work, what we call a virtual engineer. Then adding DevOps and continuous integration, continuous delivery skills through workshops, training sessions, and SRE support to work across the entire software application lifecycle for better reliability, stability, and resilience. And it's all centered around digital experience, quality of experience, and experience insights, which we provide through ThousandEyes, App Dynamics, and CX Cloud. CX Cloud is Cisco's digital platform that allows our customers to have a simplified and rich digital experience of their lifecycle journey with solutions and use cases they're deploying in their environment, on-prem and cloud, to drive specific outcomes. CX Cloud provides a single view of your environment and provides digital content to proactively optimize your network and workloads to maximize your investment. Let's take a look at this new customer experience.
This is the Cisco CX Cloud, your personalized digital gateway to activate learning, expert guidance, and deep insights throughout your Cisco journey. During this short demo, we'll focus on a few key areas that will help you optimize your operations for both private cloud and hybrid cloud environments. You'll see your active tiles here at the top representing areas of your digital journey. Let's do a double click on a few. Let's start first with this tile, our assets and coverage. This tile allows you to see your entire inventory, including security, data center, and cloud infrastructure in a singular view. We can drill down using visual filters. For example, we could check out just our connected devices. We can do more analysis by clicking on a device to get a summary of where it's installed, what software release it's using, the product ID, even what type of support coverage this device has. Back up in our top tiles, let's select the Insights tab. We'll click on software to see what we're running and how the software version of each device correlates with a risk score. Let's drill down into a device. The overall risk score for this device is 62. We see the bugs, security advisories, and field notices, every level of exposure generating the risk score. CX Cloud then serves up software recommendations to minimize risk, saving your team countless hours of manual work. In the near future, CX Cloud will also provide an aggregated snapshot view of the health of all your Cisco platforms and the assets you've deployed. This allows you to see how a full stack is operating, enabling you to seamlessly launch across domains for deeper visibility and operability of your on-premise and cloud infrastructure. What this means is you can get everything you need in one place. For example, you can get to Intersight, a cloud operations platform for public cloud and on-premise environments. When you first select Intersight, you get a view of the assets managed in your data centers across the globe. You can then see details of the data centers and perform actions, such as optimizing workloads. CX Cloud will bring together all your Cisco platforms in one place, a fully integrated Cisco experience to help you visualize your cloud operations and more. Back to you, Alvio.
While there's so much opportunity and promise in moving to a multi-cloud environment, the difference between success and failure requires a holistic strategy, inclusive of people and processes, end-to-end security and automation. Cisco Customer Experience, Cisco CX, and our ecosystem of partners have the right cloud expertise to help you accelerate cloud-ready architecture, drive extraordinary customer experience, and secure and automate all along the way. Cisco has several options depending on your needs. We provide advanced services to Cisco expertise on a project-by-project basis, or business-critical services, which connects you to proactive, ongoing engagements with top technology experts throughout the lifecycle, providing analytics, insights, and automation to increase efficiency and the risk environment for your journey to multi-cloud. And finally, CX Cloud Success Tracks, which you're going to see in a demo, is your one-stop shop for a combination of Cisco support, advanced services, and business-critical services, leveraging the scale, insights, and AI and ML of a digital platform. Hopefully, I've gotten your attention. For more details, don't forget to watch our 6 CX product solutions overviews sessions under the Cisco Live Anytime content, and visit our virtual booth in the Cisco Showcase with our CX demos. Also grab your CX Backstage Pass now. Scan the QR code to access exclusive resources so you can continue to turn it up with Cisco CX. Thank you, and have fun and a productive Cisco life.
Well, I hope you all got access to the VIP CX Backstage Pass. So many great resources in there, so please check it out. And if you didn't catch the code, then just put a question into the Q&A panel and someone will answer it for you. Loved also how the CX Cloud is that one-stop shop for all your platforms, and it gives you that seamless experience you need to manage and operate your cloud environment. Now, just remember, go down to the WAS if you haven't already. There's some amazing CX demos available to you. And also, as Alvio said, go to the Anytime Session Library. You'll be able to see so many of the CX solutions product overviews in a lot more detail. Don't forget, please fill out your session survey. The feedback that you give us is really important to us. So you can go under your profile, under My Surveys, and you'll be able to fill out there for all the sessions, not just this one. And then to keep the conversation, remember the WebEx space. Great opportunity for you to network with your peers. We've got technology specialists in there to answer any of your questions. And we'll leave that open for you even after Cisco Live is done and dusted. So we really want you to keep the conversation going. But let's throw to a few videos before our next session. And
what drives any successful event? Hard work? Sure. Dedication? Absolutely. But for retail networks, there's another answer. It's the network.
We started out in communications, but as the world changed, so did we. Today we are supporting some of the biggest events in the world, Formula 1, the Olympic Games, you name it. Highly innovative industries like media and suppliers of the automotive industry.
The demand for reliable networking is huge.
No sound, no pictures means no business.
And that's where Cisco comes in.
Everyone wants more and more from their network. More control, more visibility, more security.
Cisco SD-WAN Security is making all this possible, preparing for the future, with full support for Cisco's new Catalyst 8000 Edge platforms.
Cisco SD-WAN supports our customers in the journey to migrate data and applications into the cloud. They have the same security level in all locations, still centrally managed. To bring these security solutions into one box together with the routing functionality is unique. Our customers benefit from our ability to support them wherever they are.
From the office to the checkered flag, from the boardroom to the headline act, seamlessly and securely. With Cisco.
What if you could see everything that impacts your digital supply chain, from the code to the infrastructure to the network and everything in between, and get full visibility into every facet of your customer's digital experience, no matter how complex or unpredictable your environments might be? You can see more, do more, and stay ahead of issues before they affect your users. That's the power of thinking beyond siloed monitoring tools. That's the power of full-stack business observability. That's the power of App Dynamics plus Thousand Eyes from Cisco.
I have a lot of ambitious dreams, like making the best tea in Japan and sharing it with the rest of the world.
This is Namiki Ishiyama. She grows tea with her family in Ibaraki Prefecture, Japan, on their farm established in 1871. Namiki sells her family's tea online at the marketplace created by Rakuten, a global leader in internet services. Namiki's ambitious dreams may come true sooner than she thinks, because the world is about to change. Rakuten has partnered with Cisco to do something that has never been done before, to build a new mobile network, cloud-based, fully virtualized, and optimized for the coming 5G revolution. This is Tarek Amin, CTO at Rakuten Mobile.
My belief is this platform is going to change everything.
This is 5G. More data, more power, new tools we can't yet imagine, artificial intelligence in the palm of our hand.
Making connectivity affordable. I think Rakuten and Cisco is going to do that, and that's going to change the ecosystem of telecommunication in this country and across the world.
What will 5G mean to Namiki's tea business? Rakuten and its partner Cisco are excited to find out.
My husband and I are 6th generation tea farmers. My son will be the 7th generation. That is my dream.
Between tradition and transformation, there's a bridge. Cisco, the bridge to possible.
Welcome back. We've been hearing throughout these sessions about Cisco and cloud. We've talked about Cisco Cloud in the last session. I hope you got your VIP backstage pass. The next session we're going to is the Cisco Cloud Experience. So we've been hearing about how Cisco can combine telemetry data with all of your Cisco installed technologies, with expertise, best practices, artificial intelligence and machine learning driven insights and use cases along with contextual learning. It is such a rich environment. So CX Cloud, super exciting. I hope you enjoyed that previous session, now going yet deeper into it. Now remember, for all of you out there in APJC, if you want local language support, you could be on ciscolive.com/2021, and you can select some of the subcaptions there. We've got 7 languages for you. And live Q&A on that same URL. So again, if you have questions around the cloud experience as we're going through, we want to hear. I hope you enjoy the next session.
There's a saying that necessity is the mother of invention. And 2020 was definitely the year where many businesses got really creative in building and delivering products and services to their customers. Most of those businesses would say agility of decision-making, embrace of new technologies, and rapid iteration helped them pull off things like moving their entire workforce to work remotely overnight, or compressing years of digital transformation into weeks or months, keeping their businesses afloat and opening new opportunities. The cloud, including cloud platforms and services and cloud-like operations on-prem, powers a lot of this. At Cisco, our focus is to help you connect, secure, and automate to accelerate your digital agility in a cloud-first world. Between Carlos Pereira and myself, we would like to demonstrate how exactly we do that. We know you have multiple motions to the cloud. You may build your new apps completely cloud native. You may want to modernize your private cloud where you have the same cloud operations experience. You may choose to keep your traditional applications without changing anything. What you've told us is you want speed, you want velocity, you want agility, and choice. The new infrastructure and operations paradigm is one where you need to enable developers to build and release code to production safely and faster than competition, and remediate unintended changes when they do happen. You want to offer choice of on-premises, SaaS, public cloud environments, including choice of hypervisor and developer stacks. You want to be able to secure, control, and govern from application to the infrastructure in a dynamic, scalable, complex environment. You also want to offer anything you can as a service, making the infrastructure dynamic to the changing needs of the application, but with the needed policy and optimization. And you're always looking to attract and retain talent and kind of break down the silos between the teams, thereby allowing everyone in that stack to play a part in delivering the most optimal experience. Applications are the business, and experience is the digital currency. Applications are the way end users consume products and services. We need the apps to always work, perform exactly what the user wants, and be dynamic, so we can add services to enhance and drop ones that no longer add value to the user experience or the business. We also want to know when something is just not working and the business impact, because this enables you and your teams to focus and prioritize based on what matters most to the business. Most of your newer apps are being built cloud native. They're consuming services and data from multiple clouds, SaaS properties, on-premise, and edge. You can say an app is really a mesh of services, but we know you have plenty of apps that are traditional. You're either refactoring them or you're not changing them at all because it just works. Almost every business has a mix of these applications in their hybrid multi-cloud environments. So we believe that hybrid multi-cloud app-centric is the de facto way of operating. App-centric because the application is the business, and the application no longer just runs in one place, and users consume the application in multiple different ways. Multi-cloud because applications can be location agnostic and want to consume services from any cloud. And hybrid because your environment will have a mix of cloud native, cloud only applications and services combined with edge and on-premises applications and services. So how do we do this? How do we enable this? When it comes to hybrid, multi-cloud, and multi-app, here are the teams that bring the digital business reality to life. What we have learned from talking to customers and partners and analysts is that there are 5 needs that infrastructure and ops teams always bring up. 1, visibility and insights across the whole stack is a major need for business applications, both for the development of cloud-native apps to the operation of all applications. Risk and compliance considerations are an absolute must when it comes to securing infrastructure for cloud. And while mainly driven by the pandemic, business continuity has become a mandatory requirement for cloud operators and architects working in close partnership with DevOps team. And with the remote work like we're all doing right now and increased consumption of SaaS, distributed traffic is driving prioritization of secure and agile connectivity. And cloud operations has become a key aspect, bringing all of these teams together. So our goal is to bridge all of these environments to deliver the cloud experience that matters most to you. And we deliver it with these 5 integrated capabilities. The future of work is hybrid. It needs best collaboration experience, seamless, secure access from anywhere, and safe workplaces. Applications are the business. So you want to deliver the best experience by providing visibility, insights, and actions across the full stack and across a rich environment of hybrid, multi-cloud. You want to bring security that is simplified, unified, multi-layered, and with leading zero trust with the most expansive threat intel. We want to help you simplify and securely connect and consume cloud, improving SLAs. And lastly, deliver a cloud operational model, which allows you to develop and deploy anywhere, manage heterogeneous environments and services, and optimize consumption. So I'm going to talk to each one of this in a little bit more detail, starting with the future of work. As I said, the future of work is hybrid. Workspaces can include home, the office, a coffee shop, anywhere we need it to be. We are providing collaboration solutions that make that experience great, where everyone has the same experience, everywhere we need to connect, collaborate, and innovate. WebEx is a unified app for calling, meetings, and messaging, with a great UI and insanely simple to use. Features like gesture recognition, where your physical gestures are converted to digital gestures without having to click on something. Language translation and real-time transcription. Slido for audience engagement that feels just like an interpersonal conversation, even though you're talking to large audiences in real time. And my favorite one is noise reduction. So I don't have to keep rushing to mute when my 15-pound dog, Maddie, is at my feet snoring like a freight train going through. These are just a few of the 400+ features that we've released over the last few months. And then no matter where your teams work from, you can count on secure access to your network, your data, and your applications with Duo and Umbrella. And in industrial settings, we provide remote operations that provide secure, scalable remote access into systems and equipment that is needed to run operations 24/7. And when some people return to the office, whether that is for a day, for 2 days, or 5 days, we want to make sure that they can connect safer than ever before. So buildings will need density monitoring, face covering monitoring, and new cleaning schedules, social distancing monitoring for flexible workspace and room utilization, including things like people counting, proximity monitoring, and digital notifications. Our Meraki and DNS spaces are integrated solutions that are available now as you plan for return to the office. Let's talk about delivering the best experience a little bit more, starting with application resource management. Most organizations tend to over-provision applications because of the application experience concerns. So right-sizing has to be part of the ongoing process because you want to make sure the cloud infrastructure is dynamic as the needs of the application changes. This is where we have Intersite Workload Optimizer. It uses real-time telemetry, allowing organizations to right-size for the application so you can increase or decrease capacity based on application performance needs and the pricing profile of cloud services. The goal, always ensuring the best application experience. And application and data migration can be slow, it can be complex, it can be error-prone. We're helping your teams understand and enable real-time tracking of the dependency among the application components, how they interact with the infrastructure they currently depend on, and the new cloud infrastructure they'll consume after migration. Because they need to understand the experience an end user is having when using the application. So AppDynamics integrations with the cloud ecosystem allows you to see both pre and post migration, the experience the end user has when interacting with the application. And by the way, including during the migration process. And when we want to talk about app to infra observability, what we do today is provide you end-to-end visibility and control of the infrastructure, including cloud services. So AppDynamics is integrated with Thousand Eyes, allowing you to see the entire journey of an application and the real-time impact to end users as that application traffic crosses the entire internet from the end user's PC, tablet, smartphone, all the way to the cloud asset or SaaS service it is leveraging and everything in between. In fact, I think this would be a great time to stop and ask Carlos to do a demo on our full stack observability. Hey, Carlos, I'm going to come to you. Would love to see that demo that you have.
Thanks, Liz. Let's take a look on the full stack observability from the lens of a demonstration on the app to infra observability itself. So for that, we're going to refer to a pizza application, a mobile app that runs on cell phones, which refers to an icon that you had on your slides before on a very yummy pizza there. And the point here that I'm going to demo is pretty much leveraging business analytics from AppDynamics with that business IQ dashboard that's showing that there is some warning and critical on the payment health. The application itself is actually an application that runs on mobile that consumes the services that runs from SaaS, a payment auditing services. And as you can see, there is transaction snapshots that's showing very slow behavior on some of them. So if I click on the slow pieces, it shows you all the path of the application. And sure enough, there is something going there because there is a slowness on HTTP call between the confirmation services and that SaaS payment audit being consumed for its API. And as you can see, there is a remote call timeout that's making that application to not behave properly and then the confirmation services to fail. As we keep looking at this, as you can see, the payment services actually stop altogether at 10 p.m. on that given day, which interesting enough matches exactly on the time and response time issue that we have a very high delay on the response time to the end user at the same time. So you know that the application is not behaving because of the payment services, but why? That's why the integration between Cisco AppDynamics and ThousandEyes comes to the picture. When you have a real-time bidirectional correlation between the two data, where now in ThousandEyes screens, you can see a very high latency, and not even there. On the top of that screen, you can see a high, low kind of behavior from a latency standpoint. So let's go and deep dive a little bit more with the path visualization inside ThousandEyes. You can see that by looking at the timing that the latency used to be kind of normal on the behavior, at pizza applications, when someone is accessing the pizza app from West in the United States, let's say from California, the path goes from the balls and the lines represented in the wonderful visualization from ThousandEyes, and you can see that the consumption of that payment services for SaaS is actually coming from the services running on AWS region in Washington, D.C. on the east coast of the United States. And that applies to all the other ones that are coming from the United States. But everybody that's accessing from, let's say, London and Tokyo are actually being routed to consuming the services for the SaaS payment from Singapore. That's a typical geo-routing basis where the DNS is going to give you the address that's closest to your location to reduce latency. But if I zoom forward on the ThousandEyes visibility where it shows that the latency is very high, you can see that something is different here. The ThousandEyes visualization tells you that all the places in the world, represented on the left-hand side, is consuming the services from AWS in Singapore. No wonder why the latency is so high. No wonder why the app experience for the user is bad. And that's where we can have the app to infra observability correlation from Cisco to the end user experience right there. So back to you, Liz.
Carlos, that was really helpful to see because, when I think about the business impact of this is you want to avoid having your users abandon the application. I think my limit for, before I decide to move is about 60 seconds. And I think the average for most users is lower than that. So very compelling demo on showing how we do full stack observability. Thanks, Carlos, and we'll come back to you in a little bit. So let's then move to end-to-end security. The cloud has made life very convenient for many people, including end users and developers. But at the same time, it has made things a lot harder from a security perspective. So you want to expand your security solutions, minimize risk, and grant compliance without getting in the way of teams that want to develop and deploy applications faster. So our approach for securing clouds, workloads, and applications focuses on multiple layers. So at the cloud infrastructure security layer, we're leveraging StealthWatch and next-generation firewalls. You can deploy it on premises or consume it from cloud marketplaces. For the workload security layer, It doesn't matter if that workload is sitting in a container or a VM or an instance that's running in the cloud. We use titration to protect individual workloads. And for the application security layer, we go down the application-first security approach. If you look at the traditional infrastructure security model, there's friction between app developers who want to move fast and infrastructure operators who want to secure the enterprise. So one of the approaches that we've taken to solving this problem is by embedding security natively within the runtime of the application via the code instrumentation through App Dynamics. So this solution provides a combined agent that not only monitors application performance, but it can also enforce security inside the code, including restricting specific API calls in the runtime of the code itself. You want to block an API access to a particular service, define the policy, you can enforce that policy. And when it comes to zero trust, we've seen cloud adoption blurring the perimeter of the enterprise, especially over the past 12 months, with an increase in remote work and unsecured devices. We need to evolve to a zero trust security model, providing least privilege access end-to-end across the enterprise while reducing operational risk. We bring zero trust security solutions for the workloads, where we provide runtime protection and application microsegmentation. For the worker, where we offer a whole range of zero trust capabilities with multi-factor authentication and SAML-based cloud access. And for the workplace, it's focused on our SASE offerings and our identity and group policy management for software-defined access. And bringing this all together in SecureX, our unified security operations platform for detection and remediation, that brings together all of Cisco's security capabilities powered by real-time threat intelligence. So I want to move to connectivity now, in terms of securely connecting to and consuming cloud. With Cloud ACI and multi-site orchestrator, we're connecting multiple networks with a common policy model, but also extending that to public clouds. So you have consistent configuration, policy, and operations across all clouds. By the way, even if you no longer have a private cloud or a private ACI fabric, you still have the option of using Cloud ACI in your public cloud environment only, or also with a colo side. Our cloud networking allows you to seamlessly consume any public cloud native services. And when we come to connecting users to clouds, many of the applications your teams are using or they need are already running the cloud, mainly offered as SaaS. Our SD-WAN is integrated with major cloud providers, including AWS, Azure, and GCP. So you connect directly from the branch sites to the multi-cloud infrastructure of your choice and consume services. You get visibility into application performance and insights to the traffic that flows through the SD-WAN network. Now you can consume this solution as a turnkey solution from Cisco as part of our cloud on-ramp, or if you want to do it yourself, you can consume it from the public cloud marketplace. And when it comes to securing cloud access, networking and security solutions are coming together, delivered from the cloud to support dynamic secure access. This is your Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE. It provides the ability to secure direct internet access support for cloud apps and roaming users. So if you look at Cisco SD-WAN solutions, Meraki and Viptela are integrated with Umbrella SIG Cloud Security to make it easier for secure multi-cloud access with direct cloud and SaaS on-ramps. Actually, this would be a good time to go back to Carlos to look at the demo on how exactly we do that. Hey, Carlos, I'm coming back to you.
Thanks, Liz. Let's now run the second demo here when you're actually going to bring together two of the scenarios that you mentioned before. How we connect users to cloud while also at the same time securing the cloud access, leveraging Cisco, Meraki, and Umbrella. So here we go. Here we have the Meraki dashboard showing an implementation of that company that runs the pizza app. We have 5 branches there and an element that is a VMX Meraki running on AWS. How this scenario actually looks like from the deployment of the campus. If you look at the site-to-site VPN inside Meraki, you can see that all of them in spokes And the implementation within Amazon Web Services from Meraki is actually the hub of that. And the policy says that only the corporate people are on that VPN. So it means guests going to the office or even people using Meraki at home, not necessarily will need to be there. But as you can see, that VPN is activated for the Meraki policies. How we can actually enforce security even further? That's where the integration between Meraki and Cloud on Ramp with Cisco Umbrella comes extremely easy. As you can see, you just in a couple clicks, you configure all your environment there, and actually you have your new deployment implemented where you select what's your primary and secondary data centers, which is going to be the hub to where you're going to point for the Cloud on Ramp to get to SaaS or EAS, infrastructure as a service, depending on what you want to do. So you can see the deployments happening automatically. They already created the 2 Umbrella SIGs hubs for this, one in Los Angeles on West Coast and another one in New York on East Coast of the United States. And they are available in part of the full topology of Meraki, right integrated. And if you go back to the overview, now you can see the same branches that we had before, the hub on AWS, but the 2 sites there. One of them in LA, Los Angeles, you can see that they are already available, up and running. And part of the topology, as you can see, now if you select the site-to-site VPN on the Meraki dashboard, you can see that now we have the same VMX as AWS hub, but the 2 Umbrella SIGs as hub, part of the same policy for the VPN altogether in the company. So that's the power of us bringing those 2 use cases together on a typically called SASE use case. Liz, back to you.
Doing it simple, operationally, and making it scalable. That, I would say, is in a nutshell what that demo does. All right, let's move to how we operate. Consistent modern application environment. What do we mean by that? We're providing developers and operations teams with the environment to run cloud-native applications. With Intersight, you can deploy Kubernetes in a private environment on top of Cisco HyperFlex, which is our hyperconverged solution. And when we talk about flexible edge and hybrid hosting, we provide cloud-agnostic flexible hosting that supports all types of applications. We focus on the underlying infrastructure where the applications actually run, and you can have HyperFlex or HyperFlex Edge, and both are managed by Intersight. So we can run a consistent networking layer across all environments. So from an operations perspective, the networking capabilities are identical across multiple clouds and the hyperconvergence layer. And when we say cloud operations everywhere, with Intersight, we can help you do native compute and storage hardware management, but also services like the virtualization service, allowing you to manage your virtual machines or cloud instances across public clouds transparently. Kubernetes service consistently across private and public cloud. Workload optimizer for application resource management via real-time telemetry, allowing the infrastructure right-sizing to maximize the application experience. And cloud orchestrator and Terraform services. So you can offer infrastructure as a code via Terraform cloud services to everything accessible and managed by Intersight. And on that topic of infrastructure as code, you can safely and efficiently provision and manage any infrastructure at any scale, including multi-cloud compliance and management using a library of approved infrastructure models. By making available the multi-cloud network and infrastructure for deployment on demand by developers and operators, we can help you achieve faster iterations, more resilient and repeatable operations, and create cross-functional net, dev, SecOps teaming. Carlos, I think you have a great demo on this. It would be great for all of us to see it, so I'm coming back to you.
Thanks, Liz. Let's run the third demo for us here when, again, we are bringing together 2 of the scenarios that we explained before and the deliverables from the cloud operations everywhere that Cisco can help all together to infrastructure as code. And for running that demo, what we're going to show is leveraging Cisco Intersight. Cisco Intersight is our cloud operations platform that empowers multiple clouds. And what it did is inside the Intersight, we have a functionality that's called Intersight Cloud Orchestrator. As you see on the screen, you can very easily create a workflow that, in this case, deploy that pizza app and monitor how it's going on. And you can see that it happened successfully weeks ago. And what it did, it triggered automatically the embedded integration with HashiCorp Terraform and run the plan in order to deploy that particular app within AWS. And here you can see those two instances running there for the pizza app, which was there before. The top one used an M5 2x large within AWS. Now, what happened is, since we opened the floodgates by fixing the issue that exists on the internet, thanks to the apt 1000 eyes integration that we showed before, Inter-Site Workload Optimizer kicks in because now we have a higher demand than the supply. An Inter-Site Workload Optimizer has three views: the application, the on-premises, and the cloud view. And within that, you can see that all the dependence mapping amongst the full components of the application is showing on the left, as all the recommended changes and pending actions from scaling, shutdown, buy new resources, which maps to the top services on the application. On my case, represented by the pizza app, front end, back end, and the DNS. And last but not least, on the right in the bottom, you can see from on-premises and cloud what is today and what is going to be the recommended actions for consumption and pricing analysis as well. So pretty interesting tool from Cisco that helps the pizza app IT department. And when I click on the services, it brings me to the AWS dependency on that. And if I go there, it's going to give me what is that scaling action that I need. As I mentioned before, there is now more people trying to buy pizza. And there is a recommendation to go and right-size this to a bigger instance within AWS. And that recommendations triggers automatically the Terraform process that goes on HashiCorp Cloud. So Inter-Site Workload Optimizer trigger the Terraform plan and already embedded that change, which matches exactly at the recommendation Inter-Site Workload Optimizer. And the Terraform plan is now updated. There is one change that is required, and it automatically triggered the actions. So the HashiCorp Cloud through the Terraform will do the action based on the insight that comes from Inter-Site. And as you can see, it's going to run and it's going to apply the change automatically. And by that, you can now see that the same environment AWS has a new instance type, which matches exactly the recommendation for Workload Optimizer. And at the same time, you can now see that the cloud orchestrated within Inter-Site, so successfully deployment, so everything looks good. So that's another one on how we bring cloud operations everywhere with infrastructure as code. Back to you, Liz.
Thank you, Carlos. As you can see, cloud operations everywhere with infrastructure as code. I'll close this out by coming back to what I said before. Our focus is to help you connect, secure, and automate to accelerate your digital agility in a cloud-first world. There are a few additional sessions I would very much recommend. Please do check them out. Thank you and enjoy Cisco Live.
I'd now like to introduce Alyssa Camplin, a woman who is very well known across Australia for delivering Australia's first female Winter Olympic gold medal in freestyle aerial skiing at the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. What many don't know is that Alyssa also spent 16 years as a global executive with IBM, leading teams across sales, delivery, and strategy and transformation. We've invited her here today to share her insights into achieving Olympic-level thinking and where she sees untapped potential in technology to launch us into the new realm of human achievement. To set the scene, let's take a glimpse and roll the video.
My whole life. Since I was 5, I wanted to go to the Olympic Games. I didn't know much about winter sport. In fact, I'd never seen snow and I'd never skied. I'd been a track and field athlete, I'd been a gymnast, I'd been a sailor, I'd been a hockey player. I knew I had a bag of tools and skills. I really just needed to learn a new sport. And And aerial skiing was that sport. Everyone thought it was a joke. They told me I was too old. They told me I started too late. That it would take more than 8 years to learn how to ski and get to the Olympic Games. In my heart of heart, I knew it was possible because no one had said or shown or proven that it was impossible. First jump, I broke a rib. Second jump, I hit a tree. It wasn't easy beginnings. Aerial skiing is not a sport for the faint-hearted. You have to be tough. You've got to be strong. You've got to be courageous. You've got to be able to cry and wipe away the tears and get back up there. I knew going into the Olympics that I was ready. My body was a little bit underprepared. I'd broken my ankles 6 weeks before the Games. After my first jump in the Olympic final, I was in 3rd place. The judges called my name and I was in the start gate. I looked at the snow, breathed out, clapped my hands, and I could feel my heartbeat pounding in my rib cage. Perfect takeoff. And I'm spinning, and all I'm thinking is, where is the landing? And then I come around and I see it and I look down and there's this beautiful landing hill laid out underneath me. And all of a sudden, 20,000 people start roaring. And I'm on the other side of everything I've planned for. So I'm standing and I'm looking at the screen, waiting to see whose name goes up. And then my name came up on the screen. Elisa Camplin, Olympic champion. I told my friends and family they couldn't come to the Olympics. And then I was standing in the Olympic arena, Olympic champion, with no friends or family around. As I walked out to get my flowers, all of a sudden I hear this screaming and I look up, and falling out of the stadium is my mum and my sister. They didn't listen to me. They'd flown in and hid behind the Australian flag in the stadium, just in case I got hurt. But I was so glad in the end I had my family there to celebrate, because it wasn't just my moment. My family had watched me try to get to the Olympics for 20 years. So it was my moment, it was our moment, and it was Australia's moment.
Hello everyone, it's great to be here. I really hope you enjoyed going back in time with me in watching that video. Certainly every time I see it, I am flooded with emotions and memories. I do find it rather confronting though that almost 20 years of my life can be so neatly wrapped up in less than 2.5 minutes. So today, I want to share a little bit more with you about how you achieve moments like this, particularly in regards to the way that we think and unlock our ultimate potential. Now, as you heard at the very beginning of that video, I was 19 years of age when I first signed up to learn how to ski. I had never seen snow, but I had a vision and I had a plan. I was actually training for the marathon at the time, hoping to qualify for the Sydney 2000 Olympics. But I'd begun to resent the loneliness of long distance running, which was a massive problem because you cannot be great at something that you're not passionate about. Sure, you can fake passion. You know, believe me, I was trying, but faking it won't sustain you. So I made the decision to transfer my skills and find something else to do. And that something else was the sport of freestyle aerial skiing. It was 1994, and an Australian woman called Kirsty Marshall qualified in first place for the Lillehammer Winter Olympic final. Now, she didn't go on to win that day, but I remember watching that event and thinking that in this sport, in my country, we had coaches, expertise, national programs, systems, processes and funding in place, everything that's required to get an Australian woman into the start gate and capable of winning an Olympic gold medal. And so I thought, if I could just learn how to ski, then I'd have 8 years to get the jumping down before the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympic Games. But this is how I knew it was really possible. My goal planner. Now, bear with me, I know it's just a boring triangle, but its simplicity really is its beauty. So let me quickly whiz you through it. On the left-hand side there is time to achievement. I had 8 years to get to the Games. Along the bottom is each of the attributes I needed to become world's best in, a 10 out of 10, if I was going to achieve my dream. And then up the right-hand side there is space for setting targets and then tracking and measuring progress against the timeframes on the left. Working with Kirsty Marshall's coach manager at the time, who I happened to track down, I was able to identify the correct attributes and then put metrics around what world's best would look like. He rated Kirsty as a 65 out of 70, and then with his assistance, we worked out a practical and plausible roadmap for my advancement. So mathematically, my vision was now possible. I then asked him to give me baseline scores from which I could advance from and to clearly define the short-term goals I'd need to achieve in the first 12 months. And with that, I signed up to learn how to ski. Now I get that this kind of approach might not work for everyone, but I use it all the time. I had a goal planner when I wanted to move from sales into a leadership role at IBM, and I still use it in business today. In fact, it applies to any goal, whether you want to improve your health and well-being, start a business, or enhance your business performance. It's simply a process and structure that works. Now, if this kind of stuff is what you love, then you can grab my goal planner from the Performance Starter Kit on my website. But if it's not your cup of tea, that's okay too. I just like to take this opportunity to remind people that a vision without a plan is just a wish. Your vision is what you want to achieve, but your plan is how you're going to get there. And you absolutely need both. Of course, anytime you want to choose to move in a new direction or try something new, there will be setbacks, obstacles, and reasons why it's hard. And sadly, there will also people be standing there saying stop. I can't tell you how many people told me that my dream of going to the Olympics as an aerial skier was never going to happen. I was too old, I started skiing too late, and even straight to my face, I was told that I wouldn't make it because I was too blonde. You name it, and I heard it. Today, I call the people holding up stop signs in life dream killers. I think they're vision breakers and goal stealers, and they are not the type of people that you want to surround yourself with. And please, please, don't clutch onto your own stop signs. Find the courage and confidence to put them down and get out of your own way. Next time you feel challenged, just ask yourself, what is possible right now? And then take the first step. Now, let me just stop for a moment here to show you what I was actually getting myself into with aerial skiing, because I'm sure many of you have probably skied before, but you know, most of you wouldn't have done an aerial skiing jump. Well, deliberately anyway. So let me show you. Here goes. Jump actually. I hope you enjoyed experiencing it. If we had some more time today, I actually would have got you up and taught you how to do a triple twisting double somersault. We'll have to leave that for another time. So I've got to tell you that I plowed through so many stop signs, obstacles and difficulties on my journey to the Olympics. But the most enduring hardship was definitely financial. And I take full responsibility for that because I had completely underestimated the cost of becoming a world-class aerial skier. So to pay my bills, I literally worked my butt off. Every day for 3 years straight, I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and drive into the heart of Melbourne where I do my cardio, weights and trampoline training. I had to have all of my training completed by 7:30 in the morning every day so that the rest of my day could be about earning money. Now, I did an IT and business degree at university, and my first full-time job was with IBM, and I was very serious about my career. So I'd be at my desk by 8 o'clock every morning, where I would eat my breakfast, which was usually 4 hard-boiled eggs, because that was literally the cheapest form of protein loading. And then I would work through to 6:30 p.m. every night, which would give me just enough time to get to the other side of town to do my night jobs. On Monday, Wednesday and Friday, I coached elite gymnastics from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. Then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, from 7 p.m. till 1 a.m, I delivered pizza for Pizza Hut. And I can't even tell you what kind of crazy people are ordering pizza at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday night. It wasn't fun work. Made the weekends a lot more simple though, because I just cleaned people's homes. I needed to clean on average 4 homes for 80% of the weekends outside of the ski season, just to make ends meet. And I did all of that for 3 years straight. On the upside, my world ranking had moved from outside the top 200 into the top 100 and then to 65th in the world. And after 3 years, I was still on track with my goal plan. But I can honestly tell you that they were such hard years. Of course, I know now that they're the years that you need to put in if you want to be good at anything. Years 4, 5 and 6 of my goal plan brought a different mixture of frustrations and breakthroughs while living on the road for 7 to 10 months a year and still trying to hold down a job with IBM. My world ranking was still improving as my degree of difficulty was going up. But this was all kind of happening by overachieving in some areas and underperforming in others. And it would have been really easy to have turned a blind eye to this. But the fact is that low personal expectations or short-term complacency is what puts your future success at risk. So significant changes were required. From a competitive point of view too, being quick to change my plans meant that I could be more organised, I could take first grab at limited resources, and it was a way for me to get ahead of the game. How you respond to change is a choice, and the mindset that you adopt will be one of the greatest determinants to your success. 12 months before the 2002 Winter Olympic Games, I was ranked 6th in the world. It was also the first time in 7 years that I had truly fallen behind my goal planner. And there was 2 reasons for that. Firstly, I was inconsistent week in, week out. One event I would finish 2nd and then the next 67th. And that was because I hadn't developed the mental skills to become a consistent performer. Secondly, I'd outgrown my coach and needed to collaborate more broadly to take my last significant steps in growth. Of course, my original dream was just to get to the Olympics. And by this point, I knew that that was going to happen. But just making it, that was not going to be good enough anymore. I had stood on the lower levels of the podium. Granted, it wasn't very often, but it was enough to know that I certainly wasn't going to the Olympics aiming for anything less. I wanted a medal. And while I couldn't guarantee that, I at least wanted to wake up the morning after the Olympic final with no regrets. And so I knew then and there that if I didn't take action, that I would regret it for the rest of my life. So I went out and I found a young, hungry technical coach who was very holistic in his preparation of athletes. He didn't just turn up 9 to 5 and give me technical feedback. He cared about anything and everything that could impact on our chances of success. Was I getting enough sleep? Eating the right food? Did my recovery sessions include mental, emotional, and spiritual recovery, as well as physical recovery? Did I have the right support structures in place? What made me laugh? And could my boyfriend derail everything that we were working on? He cared about all of it because it all mattered. And that's how I learned that if I, the person, was not in a good place, then me, the elite athlete, would struggle to consistently rise up and perform. So, next I found a world-class sports psychologist to help me develop a high-performance mindset and to help prepare my whole self for success. With a massive dedication to sports psychology, I was able to find a remarkable new level of consistency. Now, mostly this came from learning how to focus on the process and not to stress and obsess about outcomes. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been in business for over 25 years, so I know that outcomes are vital. But fixating on them does not help with the process of achievement. In fact, for many people, that only invites anxiety, which actually impedes performance. So when you have the right plan and team in place, the natural progression is process steps, and they're small and manageable, and they keep you focused on what you can control and concentrating on what you can achieve in the moment. I also learned to control that little voice inside my head. It took a bit of work, like any new skill. But over time, I was able to turn any negative, blocking thoughts into positive and encouraging self-talk. I used affirmation statements, I wrote confidence scripts, I mastered the art of distraction control, visualization, and meditation. I used finely crafted routines for everything, and I became my own greatest cheerleader, which I can only encourage you to do too, because it's exceptionally powerful. And best of all, nobody can see you doing it. And so, with the mental and emotional aspects getting taken care of, next thing was physical. Now, I knew in the year before the Olympics that most girls in the world were doing about 15 to 20 training jumps per day, but the men were doing around 30 per day. Well, I took the first jump in the spring and the very last jump of the fall. I was the first to turn up at the ramps every single day, and over the course of the summer before the Olympics, I averaged 38 jumps per day, which meant that I did approximately 800 more jumps than my nearest competitor. Without a doubt, mindset, planning, hard work, and preparation were vital to my success. And that's why I love this photo, because at this World Cup competition, each and every other athlete was standing around in the rain because not one of them had thought to put an umbrella in their backpack. Seriously, this picture makes me proud. To be honest, I don't know a single other female aerial skier who, in the year before the Salt Lake City Olympics, rigorously tested coffee, water, Gatorade, fruit juice, snacks, music type, to understand the influence of all those things on their arousal level and their blood sugar level. I visualised people getting hurt. I rehearsed 20-minute injury holds, and I knew exactly what I would do with a 2 or 3 hour weather delay, because those things happened all the time in my sport. So why not be prepared for them? I, in fact, wanted to be the expert in dealing with those things. I craved bad weather competitions because I knew that that would give me a mental advantage. I trained with a substitute coach just in case mine happened to fall ill. And I stayed up all night and then jumped the next day after no sleep, just so that I knew I could. I even ate the same breakfast for 5 years straight because we had tested it and it was the right breakfast. I always stood at the top of the in-run with my hands on my hips, so I appeared confident. And I wore a ski suit that was one size too small with a white stripe down the side, so it would pull completely tight in the air, making me look that much straighter to the judges. Sometimes perception is everything. No matter what your goal is, mental and physical preparation for success is vital. Seriously, nothing we did was rocket science. Most of it was just scenario planning, derailment planning, mitigation, risk mitigation, simulations, simple attention to detail. But they're the kinds of things that you think about and then commit to doing when you want to be the best in your field. On the morning of the Olympic final, I was standing in the start gate at the top of the in-run, and I knew that I was ready. I was focused on what I could control. I used well-rehearsed techniques to remain calm, minimise distractions, and stay mindful. When the judges called my name, I completed my pre-jump routine. I could feel my heartbeat pounding in my chest. But I expected that. I'd visualised this moment hundreds of times, and I knew to breathe, follow my routine, and choose to remain focused. To do anything differently would have been to self-sabotage. My head was clear. I turned my eyes to the top of the jump, repeated my power words, and then I set off down the in-run. There was no fear of failure, concern about consequences or pressure to perform. I was not overthinking, just doing, in trust mode. I would stay present in the moment, adapting with confidence however I might need, just as I'd done thousands of times before, in both my mind and reality. Winning the Olympics was one of the most phenomenal moments of my entire life. I can't even describe how emotionally overwhelming yet Magical that all was. For Australia, it was our first ever female Winter Olympic gold medal. And for me, it was a mixture of pride, affirmation, and absolute relief. I will literally never forget standing on top of the podium, surrounded by 30,000 screaming people, and having the realisation that all the effort was worth it. Funnily enough, most people don't know that I broke both my ankles 6 weeks before those games. My last 5.5 weeks of preparation for the Olympics was all visualisation, gym work, and a hell of a lot of self-belief. But you know, this was all 20 years ago. And still today, I'm astounded in working with big and small businesses across the world, how few tools and techniques for resilience and performance thinking are known and used widely, not just for business, but in daily life. So we can all be well as people, ready to pursue passions and perform consistently at our best. Yet, in this same window of time, technology has become mainstream, supporting us to achieve more. Yet, we as humans are statistically more sick, less happy, more stressed, and have less control over our own minds and behaviours. The Future of the Jobs 2020 report published by the World Economic Forum states that by 2025, automation and a new division of labour between humans and machines will disrupt 85 million jobs globally in medium and large businesses across 15 industries and 26 economies. Worse still, accelerating automation and the fallout from COVID-19 has dramatically slowed down job creation and significantly increased job destruction. It's a double disruption scenario, and the window of opportunity for proactive management of this change is closing fast. If this vision is a fait accompli, then what plans are in place to help rapidly upskill and mentally transition a massive proportion of the human race to be ready for this? I believe this is our next greatest challenge as a global population. This is our Olympics. We must ask ourselves, how can we marry high-performance thinking with technology so that every single person can receive psychological support and rapid upskilling so they can better help themselves to quickly evolve? How can we use innovation to coach tens of millions of people at once, to accelerate training and experiential learning, to teach people how to scenario plan, predict and overcome derailment factors, to get support structures in place and be more resilient as they face the ups and downs of a more uncertain life? I'm talking about the intrinsically human things here, like what's going on in between our ears. Things like hope, indecision, self-belief, willpower, fear, motivation, and successfully navigating the change process. That is the real frontier in unleashing the next level of the human mind and the humankind. So this is where governments, business, technology, science, and citizens must urgently come together and create this new vision for the global workforce and the health of the human race at the same time. Because if we don't, we will lose the hearts and minds of too many people, and the long-term cost will be exponential. Imagine a world where innovation mixed with Olympic-level high-performance thinking means that our doctors, nurses, school principals, and emergency service workers, people dealing with Olympic-sized pressure every day, are fully prepared to work through extreme adversity and recover from associated trauma. What if we could wire in positive and successful experiences for future benefit, or simply just experience more joy more often? Imagine if we could use fully immersive technology to simultaneously measure heart rate, arousal levels, brain stimulation, and neurochemical activation to better see, feel, understand, and measure our performance in the moment, whether we're under duress or pushing outside our comfort zones. What if we could almost instantly turn our physiological responses into preventative coping mechanisms, such as activating constructive self-talk, taking micro breaks in sleep pods, or stepping into a bot-led cognitive behaviour therapy session? Imagine if technology could be used to help us quickly control our emotions, with evidence-backed science and ethical algorithms asking us the right questions, challenging us to think, visualize and do differently. Or better still, it helps us to understand how others around us might respond to different circumstances, improving our emotional intelligence, elevating respect for diverse thinking, reducing stigma, and facilitating a kinder, more empathetic, and better connected world. The opportunity is before us to leverage large-scale technology to accelerate the reach, accessibility, and elevation of Olympic-level thinking. In the workplace, such technology should be able to help us to focus more rather than constantly distracting us, and to predict and prompt when we need to re-energize or redirect us to problem solve through a different lens when we're stuck, procrastinating, or chasing perfectionism. We could have technological coaches stepping us through various scenarios, options, or possible outcomes while guiding us how to sense, understand, and manage our biases or our impulses. We could build courage, sit dozens of practice interviews, successfully deliver sales pitches through imaginary simulations, rehearse difficult conversations, or practice our ability to speak in public before we really need to. We could help all our employees to train and prepare like our athletes do, to be ready for any eventuality and to be able to trust themselves to perform in the moment. Today, IT facilitates our work and our lifestyles, and so much of this is fantastic. But we are also now seeing just how many humans have become addicted to certain types of tech usage. We hear in documentaries like The Social Dilemma that technology informed by behavioural economics is controlling us, that alerts, pre-ticked boxes and polarising news is funneling and possibly manipulating how we think and act as people and communities, that psychology is being digitally used against us for political or commercial gain. So when will we finally have our light bulb moment? That we get to choose and create a better future for all human beings, where every little girl learns to think well, and she can not only dream big, but actually do something that other people said was impossible. What the world needs is for people to be more well, more ready, more agile, more creative, more skilled, and better able to perform at their greatest capacity more of the time. Imagine how powerful this baseline of thinking would be, where technology, motivated by thinking well, provides us with greater awareness and capabilities to take back and elevate the power that we have within and over ourselves, lifting humankind to our next level of thinking and collective performance. Citius Altius Fortius is the Olympic motto. My dream today is to see billions of people thinking faster, higher, and stronger. So let's unleash Olympic level thinking and deliver en masse through innovative, inclusive technology, the opportunity for all humankind to think well, so we as the human race can all participate and actually win our most important race, the preservation and positive advancement of ourselves and the planet that we live on. Because I'm 100% sure that all the effort will be worth it. Thank you.